Alright guys, so the number one question we always get is how do I handle my crested gecko?
How do I handle my angry crested gecko, my skittish crested gecko? So we're going to show you guys how we handle all of our crested geckos, because we have crazy ones, we have angry ones, we have
ugly ones, pretty ones,
a little bit of everything.
Every baby, adult, juvenile, so we're going to show you. Alright, so baby crested gecko, handling, very easy. You pick up the crested gecko. I like to put my hand in front of their face, and then I just like kind of touch them on the back, and they usually jump onto my hand. When I hold them, the trick to handling a crested gecko is just kind of hand walking him. You gotta watch where he's looking, and then just put your hand in front of it. Right before they're about to jump, they'll load up those two back legs just like that, and then they take a little hop. This one isn't too crazy, but as you can see, I just keep hand walking him, and it's very easy. As long as you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're looking at the baby crested gecko, you shouldn't have a problem. If you're not very experienced with handling like baby crested geckos or any gecko for that matter, try handling it on top of a table or close to the floor. That way, if the baby crested gecko jumps off, falls on the floor, it won't, do it any harm. Now, these geckos are arboreal. They're usually used to like those impacts because they jump a lot, and even in the wild, they'll jump from branch to branch. Sometimes they miss. They're not the smartest, but so it's not gonna die if it hits the floor. But you don't want your gecko to take that big impact if it doesn't have to. So, like I said, just hand walking it, hand walking it. Hand walking it, pretty simple. Babies and juveniles are usually more skittish than adults, especially if they're not handled often. But generally, as these babies or juveniles get to a bigger size, they will tame down a lot better. An adult crested gecko is pretty docile by nature. Of course, you want to make sure that you handle them if you want to get them used to you. Personally, I like the geckos that actually jump and move a lot. And we don't handle all our geckos because we have, hundreds. So they usually stay pretty active, which I personally don't mind. But as you can see, same kind of technique. You just hand walk them, and you kind of got to be quick. As soon as he jumps to the other hand, put the opposite hand in front. And by the way, this is a badass lily white crested gecko. Hold that. Male.
So I'm about to handle Freddy. Now, Freddy is short for Freddy Cougar. This is our most aggressive crested gecko, and I'm gonna show you guys how we handle the aggressive crested geckos. So first things first, you gotta find them. What's up, buddy? He's actually not trying to bite at all.
But he's actually pretty good.
Yeah. So normally, like if he's here or something, he's being aggressive. You kind of come up from behind, kind of pick him up a little bit under, and then boom, in your hand. Wow, man, you're camera shy, man? What's going on? He's usually crazy, running around the place, but same technique as the baby, called hand walking. Only difference is you're gonna put a little bit more space in between both hands because the adults can jump farther than the babies. And if you put it too close, they'll jump over you, hit the ground, and maybe run away forever. So it's the same technique, open hand, because once you start grabbing them, touching them, they can freak out sometimes, So that's why we do open hands, so they're calm, and adults don't really like to move too much. They're kind of lazy, in my opinion.
Alright, so this is another gecko that is kind of crazy. I always got to keep, I got to be on my A game when I handle this guy, because he likes to jump a lot. What I have noticed is that the more if you're too finicky, or if you're in their enclosure and just like tapping them or touching them too much, it's gonna scare them, it's gonna freak them out even more. Just go in there. If you're going to pick them up, just go in the enclosure, grab them, and take them out. Don't think about it too much. He's actually not as crazy as he usually is, but you can still see, he's jumping all over the place.
And as David's mentioning, these guys are jumping towards the direction that their head is facing. That's usually a good indication of where the animal's gonna jump.
Also, like we were saying, you gotta look at the back legs. When he loads up those back legs, you know that he's gonna jump. Alright guys, now that we shared our secret gecko ninja tips, you guys should be pros at this, no problem. Don't stress it. Just pick up your geckos and handle them. I promise you it's not that bad.
Yeah, and make sure you follow us on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. We put individual content on all those social media platforms, so if you haven't, make sure you follow us. And we promise, a Crested Gecko bite is not that bad.
Yeah, one more thing, Patreon and USARC. Support us on Patreon if you like our content, if you want some exclusive merch, some access to first dibs on new animals that will be posted. All that good stuff is some of the perks that our Patreon supporters get. And don't forget to support USARC. They're the ones who make all of this possible. You know, they support. What do they do?
Fight for our rights, man. Fight for our rights to keep our reptiles.
There you go, Manny. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Tampa Repticon today and tomorrow.
Today, yeah.